Hello everybody, my name is Zojalyx and welcome to another instance of a introduction to the Lord of the Rings speedrunning. In today's video, we are going to be covering the Lord of the Rings The Fellowship of the Ring. Now, this game is a really interesting speed game, not just in the fact of it is a video game that came out in 2002 around the same time as the trilogy, but focuses on the books. This has a lot of really interesting speed tech that you really don't see in too many other speed games nowadays. So we're going to kind of break it down a little bit, go over some of the various tricks, and just kind of really interesting things that you could be seeing within a speedrun of The Fellowship of the Ring. So definitely, guys, you want to buckle up and you're going to want to pay attention to this one, because this game, if you're not paying attention, it can go through very quickly and you have no idea even what happened. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, what is The Lord of the Rings The Fellowship of the Ring? The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring is a 2002 action-adventure game that was developed by WXP and published by Vivendi Universal Games, and it was released for the Xbox, PS2, and PC, as well as it had a Game Boy Advance port, but we're not going to go into the Game Boy Advance port because it is a completely different game. This game is a officially licensed adaptation of Tolkien's novel, The Fellowship of the Ring. While a lot of people are more familiar with Peter Jackson's movie trilogy, as well as the games under that same trilogy, The Two Towers and The Return of the King, The Fellowship of the Ring came out around the same time, but was focused under the book, because Vivendi Universal had the rights to the book, not the rights to the movie, because New Line Cinema had the movie. So, with that, what we're going to be covering today is kind of a little bit of some of the differences that you're going to be seeing in this versus some of the other speedruns. And the main category that we are going to be covering today is any % no frame lock PC. Any % no frame lock is the PC version of the game, and you are able to run at unlimited FPS. You don't have any restrictions on how fast your game can run. You can run as high as thousands of FPS, or you can run as low as 5. I don't know why you would run as low as 5, but you could do that if you wanted to. So let's go ahead and start kind of breaking things down. So in this game, with you running at as high FPS as you can, this allows for some crazy movement. First of all animations done by every single character are significantly sped up based around how high your frames per second are. So the higher the FPS, the faster the game moves. And with that as well, in the main movement tech, and you'll see it throughout the run, and I'll have a link to the current world record for any % no frame lock down in the description below. What'll be happening is, you'll be seeing the runner, as they're moving across the world, will not only be moving quickly just because the game is allowing them to move quickly, but they will also be moving their mouse, their A and D, their side strafe keys back and forth, because that will actually give them a little bit more of a boost of speed. Some people will call them like wiggle physics or different things like that allow the character to move quicker. And a lot of this run, honestly, is pretty straightforward. The big challenge of this run that does come through is being able to know where to go and find the most optimal routes. Because since you are having the higher FPS, it can be a little bit more difficult to see everything that is going on within the world, because you lower your render distance, and so it can be kind of hard to see things. There really aren't too many crazy tricks that happen for quite a while in the run. It's mostly, like I said, pretty straightforward, just getting through the game quickly, knowing the route, and knowing how you're going to get through each level. Now, one of the things that's interesting to know is there are a lot of stealth sections in this game where getting captured by enemies can be quite... getting captured, obviously, can be very dangerous, because you're in a stealth section, you don't want to get captured. However, the runners know the optimal paths, and they're able to just move very quickly and make it seem like these stealth sections don't even matter. Now, let's talk about the combat a little bit in this game. In various areas throughout the game, you'll be forced to fight some enemies. Now, since your combat is sped up because you have unlimited frames per second, you can swing and block very, very quickly, thus taking out enemies quickly. However, there is a little bit more that does come out of that. In some combat, when you are playing as Legolas, if you hold your block button and spam shoot, it will actually animation cancel the shot, allowing you to shoot faster and faster, because you don't have to wait for Legolas to do his bow drawback animation. It's one of those things where there's a lot of like small optimizations that can be happening just based on the lines that you take and how quickly you're able to animation cancel when you're fighting all of the different things that you have to fight. Another example of this bow aim canceling is at the end is in the Weathertop split. You'll see the runner use it as Aragorn before fighting off the Nazgul with torches. And overall, like I said, this run pretty straightforward, pretty simple to learn, but also has a really interesting and really cool speed tech. Now, where a lot of the speed tech really comes into play is when you get into Moria. There is a really cool skip that happens where the runners will need to go and climb up on top of this chain, which will allow them to skip this bridge. Skipping this bridge basically saves a lot of time of looping around, pulling all the levers that you need to pull, and essentially doing the level as the game would want you to do it, but instead you can do it this way, making it significantly faster. This was a skip that was discovered by Rossinburg recently, who pulled it off in their PS2 world record, and now it has been converted over to PC, and has been showing to have quite a bit of time save here in this run. And Moria is probably the biggest challenge in the run as well, because there are just so many areas where the game can fail, or there's just a lot of tricks and some execution that can happen, so a lot of the big reset points do come in Moria over anywhere else in the run. Overall, though, it's still a really cool run, and I definitely recommend checking it out. Now, as we get to near the end of the run, there is a fight where you play as Gandalf and you are fighting the Balrog. Now, this fight can, again, also be a run killer, because the Balrog has two different attacks that they will do. If he uses his fire breath, that's not an insta-kill, and you stay alive and are able to keep going throughout the run. And obviously, since you have the faster animations, you're able to go very quickly and finish the run very quickly after that. It's a really cool fight, honestly, and it can be a huge determinant as to how good your run is going to be, which can be a little bit rough, but at the same time, the no frame lock category is pretty short, so you can pretty simply reset and get right back into it as soon as that would happen anyways. Overall, I highly recommend picking up this run. It is, like I said, it is very simple, and it is a run that is really interesting for anybody to be able to watch. There are a lot of really cool skips and just a lot of really great small optimizations that can happen to continue to push down your time. Now, I do want to recommend checking out some of these different runners who have been able to put a lot of time into this game and show some really amazing work in optimizing this run and making it as best as it possibly can. Their links to their Twitch channels will also be down in the description below, so that way you guys can go support them and all of the other various runners within the Fellowship of the Ring community. We have Eogrim, Sound the Horn, and Rossinburg. Go show them all your guys' love and support. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this one is shorter than some of the other ones that we've done, but that's just because the shorter the categories are, the faster the videos are going to be coming out, so it's going to be a lot easier to cover what all is going to be happening throughout the runs. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. It has been an absolute blast to be able to make these videos, and honestly, it's great to be able to finally have time where I can pick these up. I'm hoping to be able to get more out quickly, but I'm not going to be able to guarantee anything because life does happen. Anyways, thank you guys again. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and may the grace of the Valar go with you.